to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host Aurora, and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. I hope you're doing well. I hope your heart is in a warm place, your mind is in a peaceful place, and your soul feels free and good to expand. Yes, today I want to talk about meditation and why it is so freaking hard to start meditating. Or maybe you did meditation or were sitting in meditation before and it went well, and now it doesn't go as smoothly anymore. I think we all have troubles to fully relax and spend time with ourselves at times. We're all very conditioned to be active, to get things done, to have a role in society, in our family. And maybe some of us, not all of us, are being taught that spending time by yourself, spoiling yourself, doing yourself good is selfish. And maybe it goes even deeper. Maybe when you were a child, you were sent into a timeout when you were doing something that annoyed your parents. So you associate being alone with punishment and something negative. A good friend of mine, her son is 5 years old now, but when he was 2 or 3 years old, he was able to communicate already that he needed time off from people from time to time. And he started calling it positive timeout. This is how I labeled one of my episodes here in season 2, because I found this so adorable and so admirable that this little human knew already that it is very important for him to spend time by himself and to just do whatever he pleases behind closed doors. And afterwards, he's good to socialize again. So maybe if you dig deeper and look at your childhood, you can see that alone time was never really something that you wanted or that was possible. Maybe you had siblings and they were always around, which is super awesome too. But maybe it's just something that doesn't come natural to you. But I can tell you, if you feel you're running into a burnout, if you feel exhausted, if you feel irritated, if you feel life is too much, alone time can really help you further in feeling better. You can come back to yourself and be creative. You can empty your mind. You can just get rid of stuff that you've been carrying around maybe for too long, and it is holding you back and expanding and developing as a human being. So chances are, if you're listening to my podcast here, it is something maybe you want to learn, but maybe you're very good at it already. Now, why is it so incredibly hard to meditate for some of us, me included? My mind is very, very active, especially when I crave silence and alone time. It wants to get things done. It wants to solve problems. It wants to resolve conflict between people. And I learned to don't identify with those feelings and thoughts anymore, and just know that this is my mind's nature and it always wants to be active, but it needs to be quiet at times, and my body has to overtake a little bit. What I mean by that is tuning into my breath, putting one hand onto my heart and feeling my heartbeat. Sometimes I go for a walk in nature and just deeply tune into what is around me. I love tracking, like looking for animal tracks in the mud or in the snow. I love all kinds of smells. and all kinds of noises that I hear in the forest. So if you have a park or maybe a body of water close by, I totally encourage you to go out and to explore Mother Nature that is right around you. Because if we switch on our senses, physical touch, smell, things that you can hear, things that you can taste, and things that you can see, then you kind of get out of your problem-solving mode, accomplishing mode, and back into experiencing life mode. And this is deeply nourishing and good for your soul and your heart. And your mind can just wait in the backseat and be okay observing and taking in new information. Because what happens when we don't take these timeouts, these positive timeouts, our brain gets into a loop of thinking. I don't know if you observed your thoughts before, but notice how repetitive your thoughts are. When you look into your mirror, you probably always have the same criticism to offer. And I want you to change that. Change the thoughts you have when you look into the mirror. Start with yourself, with what you see in the mirror, and you will see how critical your mind is. Does it see beautiful, kind eyes and soft hands and beautiful skin? Or does it see, I don't know how to say that in English, cellulitis and molds and hair and whatever you don't want? And then you go further, you step into your day and observe the chatter of your mind in the background when you do things. Is it positive? Is it neutral? Is it negative? Is it always there? I'm sure it's always there because there's always something to comment on. And this is why meditation is so hard, because all of a sudden you shut down all your senses. You close your eyes maybe, and you have no big distractions like computers, other people, or television in front of you. And now your monkey mind is trying to find something to be busy with. And that's the time where you need to rein it in and just put it in a corner for a second and come back to your breath, or visualize your breath, or visualize a field where you walk barefooted through and you could feel the grass or like crawling around your toes. Maybe it's a little bit wet, maybe it's warm from the sun. And you can do all kinds of guided meditation here that I offer to help you stay with yourself, with your breath, or something you want to visualize or even manifest. So when you sit down and meditate and think about other people, how peaceful they look and relaxed, well, know that the exact same is going on inside of them, but they learned to put their monkey mind, their busy mind, into the corner and to focus on their breath. And when you do that on a regular basis, you will have better sleep and better focus. Whenever you start something new, you remember how it felt when you sit in meditation, how awesome it feels to have single focus on something and no distraction and full devotion to the self. So what I recommend you do is this afternoon, this morning, this evening, look at what you associate, with alone time. Is it comfortable for you to just sit there and be with yourself? Maybe lay down on your bed and don't watch Netflix, don't binge eat something. And second of all, when you look into a mirror, what are the thoughts that come up? How do you feel? And when you try to meditate, how does it go for you? Do you become restless? Do you feel like you need to itch? Is it uncomfortable to sit still? Or is it your mind that tries to keep you busy? And then observe your thoughts, your looping thoughts during the day. Do you always have the same thoughts when you go about your rituals and your daily routine? Or do they change? And if they don't change, if it is always the same, then go out in nature and train how to use your senses again. And then you apply that at home. The smell, the touch, the audio, and the visual stuff that you consume on a daily basis. Those are all things that we can switch up in order to stimulate the brain the right way, and to then have thoughts that make us feel good about ourselves and our environment. Thank you so much for listening to this episode here. I'm so happy to have you on board, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Take good care of yourself. Drink a huge glass of fresh water now. And I will be out there for you tomorrow again.